Good afternoon. This is the news update on Dominion Television, Ibadan. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. The federal government has defended the upward review of Nigerian passport fees to 100,000 naira and 2,000 naira, saying it was necessary to sustain quality, curb corruption, and ensure timely delivery of travel documents. The Nigeria Immigration Service, in a statement signed by its public relations officer, ACIAS Akinlabi, announced that from September 1st, 2025, applications made within Nigeria will attract new fees of 100,000 naira for the 32-page, 5-year validity passport and 200,000 naira for the 64-page, 10-year validity passport. It was further explained that the adjustment was aimed at maintaining the integrity of the document while making issuance processes more efficient. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called for urgent electoral and judicial reforms, warning that democracy in Nigeria is at risk if the judiciary continues to determine electoral outcomes instead of voters. Atiku disclosed this in a statement stressing that reversing the decline in voter confidence required a review of key provisions of the Electoral Act. He also proposed that the appointment of INEC leadership should be determined through a voting system, not solely by presidential nomination, to ensure credibility. Now, residents of Ibadan have urged all Yoruba traditional rulers to unite and put aside any differences that may threaten the unity of the Yoruba race. This plea came in response to the ongoing power tussle between the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Akim Owade, and the Oni of Ife, Oba Enitan Ogunwusi, regarding the conferment of the Okonlomo of Yoruba land title on businessman Dotun Sanusi during an event in Ibadan.
Primacy issue has always been there between the late Alaafin and the late Oni of Ife. But I think it is time for us to look at these issues more objectively and resolve the differences. I do not see, as the way Obaship is in Nigeria as of today and in Yoruba land, I do not see that supremacy.
There's always check and balances. When you are talking about titleship, you knew that is Alaafin that hold the aces. Is the one that has the power to nominated or selected anybody to an Obaship or for Yoruba land. So, and we knew the political power shifted to Oni of Ife, who held sway when it's come to representation of Yoruba heritage at any function in the world.
The residents emphasized the importance of respecting the traditions of the land and encouraged all traditional rulers to avoid any bitterness.
Will not bring money, will not bring development, will not bring progress to the Yoruba race. So what is this essence of supremacy fight between Alaafin and Oni of Ife? There is no basis for it, and I want to appeal to our Kabiyesi's to really look at these issues and resolve this crisis as quick as possible.
All of them have different kingdoms, and within this kingdom, they always have the same heritage because all of them came from a source. So it can never divide us. It will be making us to be coming together. That is why when you are talking about the unity, you cannot dispute it with Yoruba. Yoruba always speak with.
It is worth noting that the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Owade, has demanded that the Oni of Ife, Oba Enitan Ogunwusi, revoke the Okonlomo title. They expressed the need for harmony among the Yoruba leaders. Now, a High Court sitting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has dismissed an ex parte application seeking to stop the local government elections scheduled for Saturday, August 30th in the state. Justice Stephen Jumbo ruled on a suit filed by Port Harcourt-based legal practitioner Williams Abayomi Stanley against President Bola Tinubu, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, and its chairman. The judge held that the application for the ex parte motion lacked merit and consequently dismissed it. However, Justice Jumbo granted an ex parte order for substituted service on the defendants, but directed that the August 30 local government elections should proceed as planned. A public affairs analyst, Lekan Shobowale, has reaffirmed that Nigeria remains a democratic nation, stressing that it is the responsibility of Nigerians to decide who they want as their leaders. Shobowale, who said this in an interview with Dominion News, said it is important for Nigerians not to be discouraged by the present state of the economy, emphasizing the need to desist from political apathy.
See, we are practicing democracy in Nigeria. Of course, we have national assemblies, we have the president elected by the Nigerian people. So, putting all these things together, you can say we are still practicing democracy in Nigeria as we speak. It is so easy. If these people are not serving us, we want them to serve us. It is so easy for us to decide. Do we still want them or we don't want them? So, these have nothing to do with the politicians. It has so many things, greater things to do with the populace. Nigerian electorates, should understand that they have the power to decide who they want.
He, however, advised the masses to make use of the ongoing voter registration judiciously as against the forthcoming election in 2027. Now, on the foreign scene, Rwanda and Mozambique have strengthened their partnership in security, trade and defense as both leaders push for African-led institutions to growing threats such as terrorism. During a two-day working visit to Kigali, Mozambican President Daniel Babo and Rwandan President Paul Kagame signed key cooperation agreements to strengthen pressure, peace, security, investment and trade links between the two nations. A highlight of the visit was the status of forces agreement, a format accord granting Rwandan troops a legal framework to operate in northern Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province. And Britain has barred Israeli officials from its biggest defense trade show over its escalation of the war against Hamas in Gaza, its latest effort to pressure a historically close ally over the conflict. Prime Minister Keir Starmer's government said in July it would recognize a Palestinian state unless Israel took steps to relieve suffering in the enclave and other conditions engaging in the Israeli government. Israel's Ministry of Defense said that as a result of the trade ban, it would not run its national pavilion as it has done previously at London's Defense and Security Equipment International event. Thousands of protesters have taken to the streets of Jakarta to voice opposition. It reports that members of Indonesia's House of Representatives are receiving large monthly allowances. Indonesians are protesting claims that 580 lawmakers have been granted a housing allowance of 50 million rupiah per month since September 2024. Some local media also reported that the parliament earned upwards of 100 million rupiah a month, including housing allowances. The protests also follow President Prabowo Subianto's upon reduction of regional forthcoming by 25% as part of austerity measures. And now talking sports, Turkish giant Fenerbahce Sports Club have announced the departure of Portuguese manager Jose Mourinho after just one season in charge of the team. In a statement released on its X account, the club announced they had parted ways with the former Chelsea and Real Madrid manager who took over at the start of the 2024-25 season. However, his tenure ended prematurely after a mixed run of results in domestic and European competitions. You can follow us across our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and on X at DominionCast. That ends the news update on Dominion Television. Thank you for watching. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa.